everyone. So welcome to Doers Within Emerging Markets, time for emerging markets. I'm honored and humbled to be here with Jean Fall, founder of Cinewax. And I saw a LinkedIn post about him. I read a little bit about what he's doing. Cinewax. I watched a couple of your shows, your movies, and I have to say it's really good. Well done, and I'm just really happy that you could make the time to be on the pod. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me.
Awesome. Just to get into it, can you just tell us, I mean, who you are, and just a little bit about yourself. Where you grew up, and, how you, some of the childhood experiences that is fun to just share with the audience.
All right. So I'm a French Senegalese entrepreneur. I was born in France 28 years ago. And I always lived in Paris region. So my father is Senegalese and my mother is French. So I always had this, double culture within me, but a part of it was not really known because I grew up in France. So basically, I think during my youth, up until 18 or 19, I was like kind of in search of that. I mean, it didn't hit me right away, but I think during my teenage years, I was like, okay, I want to know more about Senegal. I've never been, and basically, it was kind of complicated for me to go because my father couldn't bring me for a lot of reasons, and then I decided to say to him, okay, I'm going. You don't bring me, I'm going. So I went alone to Senegal when I was 19. So at 19, I discovered my country, my second country, and my second family that actually I've been there for all these years. They knew me, but I just didn't know them. And it's funny because, African families are kind of like this and they don't know. I mean, the relationship can be tricky. Anyways, just to summarize, I'm Jean Fall, the founder of Cinewax, and I'm a French Senegalese entrepreneur. And yeah, I was just beginning of explaining how it came, how the ideas came, and where it was rooted for me as a person, not just as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I love how that you had this very early on, like, what's the other side of me. It kind of gives me the story of I'm reading now this Obama's book, The Promised Land, talking about his dad that was in Kenya, and he was like, I need to find this other side of me. And I mean, you did it way earlier. I think Obama did it when he was like 27, 28, which is around your age. That he said before he started law school, he was like, I need to go to Kenya and figure out the other side of my family. And I kind of see a lot of similarities with how you came to that. But I think that in itself, that's fascinating. And I think there are a lot of listeners out there, Africans in diaspora, most born in the US or in Europe, that are trying to discover themselves. And for you to take that bold step to make it, that's amazing. So I mean, just kind of share. So I mean, when you went to Senegal, how was it like? Because I'm curious about that. Was it what was the information you got out of that? How did that inform your mindset, and hopefully how did that kind of transform you to what you are
So
now?
it's an interesting question because actually Cinewax didn't come right away to me. I didn't wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to make Cinewax. I'm going to go African films." So it's a kind of a long story, but I'm going to make it short. So I came to Senegal at 19 and I decided, wow, I discovered my country. I was like, wow, this is Senegalese culture. The language is different. They speak Wolof. I don't understand it. I must learn it. It's part of me. I love languages. I need to know what they're talking about. The culture is so strong. I might be cliche, but you have the dance, you have the songs, you have the food, you have the country itself. Visiting Senegal, it's a whole new level of tourism, and you have the people too. The relationship between families, with friends, with the religion also takes a great part in understanding Senegal because it's the majority is Muslim. So you get kind of this whole package of Senegal. It's like spirituality, it's like welcomeness. We have this thing called teranga. You know, when you come to Senegal, we say it's the country of the teranga. Teranga, it means welcomeness. So it's like a very specific country in the West Africa, and I had the chance to have family there. So I didn't, when I came to Senegal, I didn't go to tourist places. I wasn't French, you know, I was just Senegalese. It's like, yeah, it's Jean, you Jean Fall, and you come from this family, and you are Senegalese. So I was integrated right away. And the first time I came, I went for 1 month, and it was like life changing. I was like, okay, this is what I've been missing for so long. And basically from that date, I decided to go every year. So I started to go year after year up until I was 23. And actually 1 year, I missed 1 year in this story. So for 4 years I went, and I missed 1 year because I had financial difficulties. I couldn't go. So I was very frustrated not going. And this last year I went, it was in 2014. So when I was 19, it was 2011, 11, 12, then 13 I miss, and then 14 I go. And what I do is like, I was like, okay, it's great. I go to Senegal, I party with friends, I discover different kind of me, different people. It's amazing, but what can I bring to the country? And also, what do I know for real of this country? I just know the capital, Dakar, but what else? So I decided to do a road trip, actually. And I was like, okay, this road trip will teach me, sorry, what is Senegal. So I went to Senegal, I went to Kaolack, which is another city. I went to Saint Louis, which is a city in the north. I went to different cities, and my plan was basically to go into the cities and to find somewhere to sleep. So I actually found somewhere to sleep, which was not my home. It was not even friends. I just met random people in Senegal. And this is what is beautiful. You can do that in Senegal. It's actually very safe. And from that trip, I was also thinking in my head, okay, you went every year to Senegal, you were bringing maybe clothes to your friend, or maybe music. I don't know, you were bringing something as a, you know, as a normal person. You just bring something to your friends, something you have in the north, in the Western countries that they may not have. I don't know, it might be an iPhone or a computer, anything that you can bring, you bring it. But then you're like, okay, it's good, I do it every year, but what else? What's happening after that? So I wanted to be able to contribute to this country. I was like, okay, I need to contribute to my country, and I want to do something there. And when you go to Africa, I think for most people who went to an African country, they can realize that there's so much thing to be done. If you think a bit, you look everywhere, you're like, wow, this is not working properly, or this could be better, or this woman, is she selling food? Oh, we could do that and link her with that system. And you know, not even having a mind of, oh, I'm going to save Africa. No, just saying, oh, there's so much things to be done. And basically, I wanted to be part of that. And for me, at the same time, because I went only for 1 month or 6 weeks each time, I had to come back and tell my stories to people, to my friends who were there, to say, hey, Senegal is great. You know, I've been here, I've been there, I've done this and that. And I was like, okay, it's cool. But, you know, when you come back to a great trip, and it's so hard to tell what you actually felt, what you lived, it's impossible. So I was like, what's the best way to communicate what I've lived, to tell them about what's happening in Africa, to tell them about the culture? And it happens that I was a fan of cinema. I'm still a fan of cinema. I just love cinema for what it shows, for what it brings. You can understand another culture through film. So this drove me to say, okay, if I cannot tell the story, I can then show it. And the idea came of creating this initiative called Cinewax, to bring African cultures to people thanks to movies. Simple idea.
Amazing. That's amazing. I liked. I had the. I like that. Just how it came about. I think that's a very organic way of building a startup that you're passionate about. And by the way, thank you so much for doing this interview in English.
Sorry, guys, for my English. I'm French. Don't forget that.
Yeah. English is pretty smooth. So thank you so much for speaking English. So you've mentioned how this Cinewax came about. Can you just share a little bit about convincing your close relatives, your mom and dad, of like, I really want to do this. Like, I don't know about Senegal, or maybe in France. Like, I know my parents. You have to really, doctor, lawyer, engineer. You really have to. When you're taking risk like this, you really have to come up with a very sound, practical plan. It sounds like you're a risk taker, but you're also very calculated, practical risk taker. How did you convince people close to you and say, no, this is something I want to do?
So in advance, for everybody, don't do what I did, because I could say 5 years later that I was crazy. I was really crazy. So basically what I did is, just after my last trip, I decided, okay, that's what I need to do. And the first plan was, I want to take movies from France and international movies, the movies I loved, because I've noticed that they didn't know about Pulp Fiction, they didn't know about great films I love, just Pulp Fiction, it might be Steven Spielberg, something like that. And I was like, why? You don't know that? And then I realized, oh, I don't know African films too. So why not make a film house, or just a theater where you could find movies that you loved, new films, and also a lot of things, cultural place, a kind of whole, a cultural place all together with a film house place. And so basically, I came up to France. It was, I think, in September 2014. And I was like, okay, I need to come back to Senegal in 3 months. So I was like, wow, how do I do? So I started working in a part-time job, nothing related. And when I was thinking about that, I was like doing a job for them. It was a law firm, and they were launching, I think, the 10th years anniversary, and they were making a launch event. And at the same time, in 2014, you had like the crowdfunding vibe. Like, everybody was doing crowdfunding for every project. So I was like, okay, I want to go back. I want to build my cine club, but I don't have money. So what do? I do a crowdfunding. I had never done anything like that before, but I knew, I did some bartending, and I was a waiter. So I had like kind of an idea of how to make an event. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a crowdfunding, and it's going to be in December if I want to come back in January. So you see, it was just the process of me thinking, what can I do now? And basically, I launched my first crowdfunding, not even asking my mother. I just told her, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm going back to Senegal, blah, 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 etc. And basically, I drafted the plan. It was in September, basically, when I started drafting the plan, evaluated, and within 3 months, I firstly convinced 25 people, volunteers, to come with me on this project. And I raised 7,500 euro for my first crowdfunding, based on this idea of making a cine club network in Senegal. So quick after, we raised the money, and we bought the material, the equipment to go in Senegal. And I brought 7 people with me into Senegal. And it was already in 2015. And we went from March to June into Senegal for the first time we tried this project. So quickly after, we realized that making a film house in Senegal was impossible back in the days, not with that kind of money. So reality hit me hard. So I was like, okay, what can I do? Every supporter I had was in France, like my members, and I promised them that I was making this cinema. It's not happening. We still did 10 screenings. We did 10 screenings in different locations in Dakar, which was huge for the beginning. First time we come, we do 10 screenings. The first screening we made in Dakar was actually full. We had like 100 people. We even had the artist Célie Rabican. I don't know if you know her, the Senegalese artist Célie Rabican, who helped us doing the design for the party. Anyways, lots of things happened very fast. I wasn't even aware of what I was doing. And then I was like, okay, it's June. You don't have any money left from the crowdfunding, and you need to come back to France because you need to still do activities, activate your member base. What are you going to do? So I decided, okay, we realized that there's no visibility for African films, and that's what we want to show. So we're going to do African film screenings in France. And this is how we came to the first, what you see of Cinewax it came from that. It's like, how do we make sure that African films are visible into film house at least just in France. So we started doing screenings. And from the first screening was in December 2015. And from the first screening to 2018, we did 100 events. So we never stopped from 2016 to 2018. We never stopped. We did cine clubs, we did festivals, outdoors festivals. We tried everything we could possibly do into a programming event side. So by the time we came into 2018, we had already screened 150 movies to 12,000 people. So this was just before the platform. So then I guess it's maybe your next question, how did the platform idea came?
Yeah, exactly.
So basically the platform idea came because, and I think many people in the African culture industry or just in the entertainment industry must know that it's very difficult to convince people to come to a film screening for a movie they don't know. Impossible. It might be a Romanian movie, I don't know, a Hungarian, a Chinese movie, anything that is not American or from their country, it's hard. And so for us, it was a double problem because the African films are not known in France, but also there is not a lot, at least back in the days, there was not a lot of distribution. So the market wasn't really existing for us. And we just did events. And we realized that it was very hard for us to maintain the events as they were. It was too small and we didn't find the money back when we invested in a screening. So I decided that it was time to kind of open the concept. And what happened is that in summer 2018, I discovered a festival which is actually known, which is called My French Film Festival. And the concept of that festival is that they select 30 or more French movies during the year, and they make an event for 1 month, and they make it available worldwide. And I was looking at numbers. I was like, wow, 30 films, 8 million visitors, 2 million, numbers. I was like, wow, that's a great concept. That's not Netflix, but that's a great festival. I was like, okay, why not do that? We know how to do festivals. We just have to do the same as them. Again, I was mad. So what I did is that from August to November, I just brainstormed, created, edited, and pulled out this idea of the first online African Film Festival. And we launched actually from the 8th, I think it was the 15th November 2018 to the 15th December. The first edition, we had 500 people in 15 countries. And basically, we spent 16,000 euros. And this was all self-funded.
Wow.
But we never found the money back. That was the first fail, but not a fail, because when we told the numbers to people, they were like, wow, 500 people in 1 month, how did you do that? And it's funny because my plan was to hit the 100,000. I was like, no, I'm doing like My French Film Festival. I must be 100,000. I must do that in 100 countries, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't aware of the sound work you must put for a long period of time to prepare this event. And basically for what we did in 3 months, we saw with the programming team, we saw like 80 films, we selected 30. And basically we had 500 people in 50 countries in just 3 months with movies translated in French, English, and Spanish. It was like outstanding. Even me, but now I realized what I did. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. How did I bring people with me?
Such an achievement. I'm actually just curious, even at the very start, like how you convince 7 people to go with you to Senegal. I don't know what you told them. I don't know what, because I mean, I guess you couldn't pay them at that time. Just that by itself is just really mind-boggling to me. And for you to also have that entrepreneurial, that's this true entrepreneurship, right? Taking risk, but also like finding opportunities and building on that. But that's pretty cool. In terms of the festivals from November to November to December,
yeah.
How did you market it? Did you use social media? How was that? I think that's something. hopefully you can share with us and we can learn something from that.
I think, but no, I have more experience, but back in the days, it was really, I was thinking like an event. So how do you market an event? You have your community, you have to talk with people, even invite your followers, talk to them one by one if you can. Do a mailing list and send regular emails to prepare them for the event. Do a launch event or even several launch events. Then do PR if you can. Find media that you can talk about the events. Then do events. Then, we used every tool we had. I spent, for the first event, I spent 2,700 euro in Facebook ads, because back in the day I thought Facebook ads would bring me people, and that didn't work for real. But that's there is tools, marketing tools. If you are an entrepreneur, you must know. I think there is 16 or 17 different marketing channels that you can. I've learned that very recently. That you can use. So use everything that you think are good, and then focus on the ones that work for you. And I think, once you master that, you can do whatever you want. So the difficulty with us is that we're not selling yogurts, we're not selling cars, we're selling films, and we're selling ideas. So selling ideas to people, and it comes to the question about how did you bring people to Senegal, is that you must understand their needs. You must understand why they are following you into this project, and why they believe in your vision. And you also must have a vision. And the idea is that, for me, I always go back to my core vision, which is African cultures have been so much mistreated or so much forgotten for years. I'm not even talking about colonization, just talking recently. People don't know about Africa, or they have cliches about it, and they think it's one country. And basically, when you get outside of the African community, it's so hard to talk with people, and to see in their eyes the, the, the way they see Africa is like middle age or even far. And you're like, no, 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 that's not how it is. And what I wanted to bring with that is just first reconnect African people that live here or African descent with their roots, with images and stories that they want to know about what's happening today. And second, kind of educate, or I would say raise awareness about the reality, not past Africa, not past movies from 30 years old. Even if I respect the history of African films, I want to show what's happening now. And I want to see African stories worldwide. This is what I want. I think we need to restore, I would not say glory, but we need to restore the cultural value of our productions. And this is to be rooted in what we do, and not bargain, or not, not reduce the quality of what we do for money, or to take shortcuts. And just to give you my idea, at the beginning, I wanted to be, and people have fun with the sentence, but I wanted to be Cannes for African films. I was like, no, we need our own Cannes, because we are not, nobody knows us at Cannes, nobody recognizes us at Cannes. Why do we need to go there? We're not invited. So
You're
this
inspiring.
was the idea.
Yeah, very inspiring, man. And you're just 28, man. This is. I'm sure our listeners will really. I feel drawn to that kind of, you know, building something that's beyond yourself, but also kind of brings to light some of these uh, realities or truths that has to be well communicated. And film is like best medium to get that going. And I'm really really happy and pleased and humbled and excited that you're doing this. Um, so a question that I'm just curious about. So last year the pandemic hit. How was it like for you, and how did that affect um, uh, your company and just your mindset moving forward?
So quickly, from 2018, we started to do this event, and then we say, okay, we need to continue to build on that. 2019, we did another 1 month festival. We had 1,000 people in 32 countries, so we doubled the numbers. And that time, we didn't even spend money front. We just sell the tickets, and this was amazing. But we didn't have any more money to continue. We were like, okay, how do we do a third edition? And then it was December 2019. And then what happens? February 2020, first COVID wave. And actually, back in the day, I was back in working with a company. I had to find a job. And people told me, oh, Jean, open the platform back. Cinewax, please make the film available for the lockdown. And I was like, no, it was so hard. The last event, we didn't make it. We want more, we wanted more and we didn't have it. And I was like, okay, maybe they're right. Everybody tell me, go, go, go. Maybe they're right. And what happened is actually I got fired in my job, not
Mm.
because I didn't work well, but because it was an event job and the event was canceled. So I didn't have no job. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. So people told me, open the platform and you have no job. You need to focus back on this event. So I basically reopened the platform for a third time and the third 1 month edition during the lockdown. And that time we went from 1,000 to 10,000 people in 1 month in 100 countries. So I was like, whoa, this is new. We never experienced that before. The funny story is we had 30 films like always, and we had films that didn't perform well during the second edition. And I was wondering, how did it come? And actually, one movie went very well. It's called Dalinyaro from Lula Ali Ismail. It's the first Djiboutian movie about three young teenagers who it's like a teenager movie, and they need to go to decide if they are going to go after the study in France or stay in Djibouti. So it's really like you're talking about religion in East Africa. You never see teenagers in East Africa. It's like, wow, new movie for the African teenagers all over the world. And the Somali community got it. They took it in Twitter and they shared the links. And what we did, we changed the business model. And this is what saved us. Instead of paying people right away an €8 ticket for 1 month, we decided that we're going to make you the content available for free, 1 or 2 films. And if you want to continue, you can pay the €8 to see the rest of the movies. And this is what brought us 10,000 people in 5 days, actually, on the platform. And thanks to Twitter, it was not even us that communicated. It was just people sharing the links and influencers on Twitter saying, oh, look at this movie, it's free, it's on OAF. They didn't know how to pronounce that. And then I discovered that, funny enough, I was on Instagram because this was our main channel to communicate. And I was talking to someone, a new follower, and he was saying to me, oh, there is a problem with the movie. And I'm like, how do you say that? He say, oh, there is a problem. People say that on Twitter. I'm like, what? And the Twitter page, we hadn't used it from 2017. So you have to understand, I was like, what? How did they go on Twitter? And I come back to Twitter, I type Danny Naro, and I see 2,000 occurrences of the word. And I was like, wow, this is the power of the internet. So basically my vision from 2018 came to truth 2 years after. And so from that event, April 2020, we closed the festival and I decided, okay, first people actually watch the films, then it could be viral. But then if it can be viral with one movie, how could it be viral with 30 films or even more? And this concept should be more explored. So we need more time. We need movies on the platform all year long. So basically from that, I decided to do a new Kickstarter. And we did a crowdfunding campaign in July, from July to August 2020. And we raised 36,600 euro with something like 700 contributors from, I think, 28 countries. I'm trying to get the numbers. And from that, this was the key to open this new platform. And basically, we opened the new platform as it is today, last October 2020. So it's been 6 months only.
This is so inspiring. Wow. This is the first time I've met someone who like did something that by happenstance, social media just proliferated whatever he or she did, and that's great. That's really great. So now in 2021, what are you guys doing now? How can people sign up on Cinewax? I think there's some projects now popping in my mind. I think we'll talk as well. Well, how can people get involved? How can people sign up? And what are the plans you guys have? And how can we get engaged to it to promote your work?
Yeah. So today the platform is opened worldwide, so you can connect from everywhere in the world. The movies are available, and they can just sign up on the link that is here.
Yeah.
So oaff.watch, and basically the sign up. There is a 7-day trial. Maybe we will put it larger time, and it depends of the country, but it's between $5 in Africa per month to $10 in US, Canada, and €8 in Europe, for instance, and that's per month. So the price that we put was the first price because we just said, okay, we have an exclusive offer. We also have cost to maintain. So this is was the first idea of how we found the price. But maybe eventually it will get down. And also we have a lot of promotional codes that we do regularly. So when people come, they might have like 50% off for 3 or 4 months. So it's like €4 or $4. So it's not really expensive. At the same time, what they can find is we are not just a platform. We're not just an entertaining platform like other big platform I won't name. We are also a festival. So for instance, we do collabs with other festivals. Next week, from the 20th March to the 1st of April, we're doing a collab with the Cinema Africa Festival in Sweden, and we're releasing 3 exclusive films. So people will find these 3 movies for 1 week only. It's Lusala, which is a Kenyan movie which got like selected at TIFF, got a lot of appraisals. Nafi's Father, which is a Senegalese film, a very good film also, and My Love Ethiopia, which is an Ethiopian movie. And also we're trying to kind of uplift smallest movie, the small movies that we can into these kind of packages. So that's what they will find. They will find movies about every countries, also movies from the diaspora, and yeah, events online. That's the idea.
That's amazing. I'll include the links in the podcast and as well as the festival for next week, so people can check it out once the episode is out. Man, you're truly inspiring, man. Just 2 last questions. One is how we have Africans in diaspora that some are curious to go back. I mean, you went back when you were 18, 19. We have some people, older folks, maybe in their 40s or in 50s or in the mid 30s, that are thinking of taking that risk to go back, being too comfortable here in Europe or here in the United States. What would you tell them to? What advice or any suggestions you have to say, okay, it's worth the risk to go back home and apply some of the skills that you've learned here, or maybe just do that thing you're passionate about. If anything you'd love to share, um, appreciate it.
Um, before this question, I want to say something important is because I didn't mention the team. So the team
Oh,
today,
sure.
the team of the project today is 60 people in 10 countries. So we have translators, we have video editors, people who help on the communication, film programmers who select the films, upload manager who make sure the films are very well uploaded. Like this is a whole team. This is complicated. This is not something you do in 1 second. And basically this kind of setup, we've improved it through the years. And this is thanks to all the volunteers that worked on the project. And basically, we are still a charity on that project. But 2021, the big project for us is to move onto a company and keep the charity activities different apart from this platform, because we know the platform has great potential, and we know first we can employ the members of the team. So that's the goal: employ people who helped us build this thing. And also we can employ people thanks to the platform. We can give employment through the films that we might be able to produce. We can give employment through maybe customer services that we can implant in different countries. There's such variety of activities that can be done with a platform. It's amazing. So that was just my input on the team. Um, Concerning the return in Africa, I would say I think you can do anything you set your mind to, as long as you are passionate and as long as you have the right people around you. Because you might be passionate for something, but you also might have negative energies around you. And I think it's important to have this, you know, together. your vision, people around you, and also finding opportunities. I think today Africa, and I would say more precisely West Africa, is a place where there's a lot of opportunities. Also Anglophone Africa, East Africa, South Africa. But at the same time, I think some countries, for some industries, are kind of slower than others. So you have to select very carefully in what field you're in and in what country you want to start. Even if it's not your home country, it might be better to go in another country, start this venture, than going into your home country and fail. Then, if you're mad like me, you can go both ways and fail. But I think it's just like a mix of passion and also caution. Be cautious.
Man, I can't wait to see what you're gonna do in the next year, 5, 10 years. Probably be the next big icon in African, promoting African culture through your platform. And I'm really, really humbled and excited that you made the time to come here. And I think my very last question is, what was your favorite food in Senegal? Or favorite Senegalese food, favorite African food?
Oh, food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have haters. I would say I'm Senegalese, and for me, Senegalese food is the best. But I'm willing to try other foods. Really, Ghanaians come with me with jollof rice. I would love that.
Oh, that's dicey water. Dicey water.
So for me, my favorite food, I would say the ceeb bu jën in Senegal, or the mafi.
The
Ceeb bu
muffin.
jën, mafi.
Okay, okay.
Favorite food of all time.
That's very politically correct. So you passed. No, man, thank you so much. I'll definitely love to have you back once things are moving, and check up on you and see how we can, keep on sharing this amazing story of yours, but also promoting your platform and also, inspiring others in the process, which I think is the most important thing. So, man, thank you so much. This was great. I loved it.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Really,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's a pleasure. I'll see you again, man.
Yeah. So continue what you're doing. I think it's very important, and I've seen your work. It's very professional. So yeah, I mean, if you need help to meet other entrepreneurs that I know that could be interesting for your podcast, just tell me, because I think it's important to share our stories, and it's cool that you do that.